We are going to start with another very important and sensitive lesson, and this lesson is written by an Indian writer in English. Have you heard the name Mulkas Anant? So Mulkas Anant was born in Peshawar, and he is one of the very sensitive and very renowned writer who wrote in English. Particularly, he has seen in the society, he has seen that the caste system, the oaths of the caste system he has seen, and in his writing we find the reflection of the same. Therefore, my dear children, in lesson number 1 of your moments, so we will see how this particular thing is depicted in a very beautiful manner. Particularly, he talks about the relationship which is very cemented relationship between the father and the son. So now let us see the lesson. So this lesson is the lost child. My dear children, before starting the lesson, it is better to know the significance of the title. So you see, the lesson is named as lost child. So here you see, this child may be any child. That is, it is the universal name. It actually stands for every child. Maybe he is just before the preschool period, and the child seems to be lost. That means this particular lesson, the title of the lesson, give the hint to the lesson that it deals with the topic of the loss of the child. My dear children, you see this difference of the word. You see, this is called LOSS. This is loss. This is noun form. This is verb form, lose. From there, the past participle and the past tense will be LOST. Means this becomes again the adjective. Why it become adjective? You will say this will be the noun, and before noun anything is coming and telling or giving some additional quality of the noun, it is adjective. Therefore, this title gives a hint to the theme or the central idea or the message of the lesson. My dear children, now we will be going to the lesson. So before start, let us see what is written here. A child goes to the fair with his parents and excited and want the sweets and desperate there, but his parents do not bring him. Why does he refuse when so offered by the stranger? My dear children, you see, so the world of the child is totally different from the adult. So his world is full of joy. His world is full of joy and full of fun, frolic and entertainment. He doesn't know any care or worries. He only knows happiness, merriment, joy, joken, and all the merriment. Therefore, you will see in the villages. In the villages, many times the fair is arranged. Do you know what is fair? हम लोग जो हिंदी में मेला बोलते हैं, that fair. Particularly after the harvesting season, when the farmers complete the harvesting season, after that the villagers will be arranging the fair so that there is some merriment, there is some happiness, there is some frolics or fun. Because if all of the time they are busy in work, then their life will be a total boredom, total dull, and therefore this fair are arranged. And when the child comes to know that they are going to the fair, his happiness knows no limit or bound. He is extremely happy, he is extremely excited. Therefore, let us see the lesson. It was the festival of spring. From the wintry shade of the narrow lanes and alleys emerged the gaily clad humanity. Gaily clad humanity. Some walked, some rode the horses, others sat being carried in bamboo and bullock cart. Bamboo and bullock cart. One little boy ran between his father's leg, brimming over with life and laughter. Now, my dear children, it is said that word is wisdom. Word is equal to wisdom. That means, my dear children, what is important is to know the word meaning is very important. To learn a particular literature, what is important is to know the word. Therefore, when you know the meaning of the word, then for suppose a PISA type question or other, that will also be very much helpful, because you can have a guess from your known knowledge to the unknown knowledge. Therefore, let us see here, many of the words are there. I'll be telling you all detail, and I suppose you will be understanding 100%. There will be no doubt in it. Let us see it. Now, when does the spring come? Spring come after the winter time. So winter is over. Winter is over. Chilling cold. You cannot go anywhere, move anywhere. Therefore, after the winter, the spring came, and then during the springtime, the fair was arranged. And then you will see that there emerged means coming out. From where? From the alleys and lanes. छोटा छोटा रास्ता जो है, ओके, गांव होता है, मोहल्ला होता है, वो मोहल्ला में जो बिल्डिंग होता है, बिल्डिंग में जो छोटा छोटा जो रोड होता है, उसको मतलब लैन बोलता है, एले बोलता है. From that particular shorter route, R-O-U-T route, came out a gaily clad humanity. Means gaily clad. Gay means happy. Okay, gay means happy. Clad means dressed. D-R-E-S-S-E-D, dressed. Humanity means all sort of people with a different color of dresses, particularly the new dresses. After wearing these, they are going to join that particular fair. So in physics, you have known this concept of this light. Okay. So if from particular source the light is going to different direction, that is called diverging rays. And if from different direction, if in a particular point the rays are meeting, that is called converging. Here also we will see how the people from different places are coming to meet into the fair. This is called convergence of the people in the fair. Therefore, our hero, who is the hero? The child. Is he named? He is not named. He is an unknown child. That means he is a representative, or he stands for all the child of the world. Therefore, what he does? He is now simply running between the legs of the father. Means he is so happy that he cannot express his happiness, and therefore his happiness is to the brim. Now see, my dear children, this is the cup. This is the cup. Suppose you are putting milk, okay? You are putting milk here. You are putting to the extreme border, to the edge, E-D-G-E, edge. उसको हम बोलते हैं ब्रिम बोलते हैं, है ना? ये बॉर्डर को ब्रिम बोला जाता है. So if anything is coming to the full point, that is called brimming. Means his happiness was to the full, and he did not know what to do, and therefore he was simply running between the legs of the father. I suppose you have understood it. Therefore, now let us proceed to the next part. Let us proceed. So you see the picture. So different thing you can see. This is a particular picture of the village sphere. So what can I see in the picture? So describing the picture also is a great art. Here you will see many people. Okay, this may be our hero. This may be our hero. Am I correct? Because now So he is now pulled by the mother because he is attracted by either the balloon or by the roundabout or by the stalls or by many other things, and the mother is pulling him in order to divert his attention. So mother is telling, beta, look forward, look to other things. Therefore, let us continue now. Come, child, come, called his parents as he left behind, fascinated by the toys into the shop that lined the way. So, here you see, do you know the meaning of fascinated? Coming from fascinate, the main word, okay, this up to fascinate means lot many meanings are there, got pulled, got drawn, D-R-A-W-N. So you will be writing all the meaning in your book, in your answer book, assignment book. You will be writing the vocabulary part 2. So he was very much attracted. As he was attracted, therefore he was keeping behind. He was lagging behind. He was staying behind. As you have seen in the picture also, the mother is pulling because he was attracted by the toys. The toy is so dear to the child. As you know, psychologically speaking, so when the child is playing with the toy, actually he is preparing for the future, and he get a lot of information from this playing with the toys or other tools. Therefore, after seeing this toy, the child was very much attracted or pulled, very much drawn, and he wanted to have it. And therefore, many times what you will see, the children are very much interested to have some things, but they cannot tell because they know the parents, that maybe some parents may cannot afford, and some parents may also be cruel, not kind. They do not understand the emotion or the feeling, and therefore many times the child suppress or control the emotion or the fear. Here you see what the child does. Let us see. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering on the receding toys. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the old cold stare of a refusal. Refusal means what, my dear children? Refuse means another form is deny, means saying no, है ना, बेटा नहीं होगा, ना बोलना. कोल्ड का मतलब तो जानते हैं, क्रूएल. स्टेयर का मतलब है क्या? लुकिंग विथ अ फिक्स्ड आई, okay, continuously looking at something, means maybe somewhat unhappy. Therefore, in this part, what we see, the boy was very obedient boy, and when the father called, he was obedient and he responded to the call. But what happened? He was looking back. at the toys. The toys were receding back, means going past. Okay, going past. So it is going or making. It is going past, because suppose this is the road, this is the stall of the toys. So now you are moving in this direction. The toys are going to that direction, opposite direction. Therefore it is receding. It is called receding, means going back, going past. Therefore he could not suppress or control his emotion, and he told, my mother, my father, I wanted the toy. It is so dear to me. Please mother, please father, I want the toy. He pleaded का मतलब है requesting highly. अर्नेस्ट रिक्वेस्ट जो हम बोलते हैं, अर्नेस्ट रिक्वेस्ट, ओके, EARNEST. ये रिक्वेस्ट है, थोड़ा जोरदार रिक्वेस्ट जो है, अर्नेस्ट रिक्वेस्ट, उसको प्लीडिंग बोलते हैं. ये जो लॉयर होता है ना, लॉयर होता है, एडवोकेट होता है, वो प्लीड करते हैं, ही प्लीड्स फॉर ए और बी और somebody else. वो भी एकदम with the folded hands he was requesting the father, Father, I wanted a toy, it is so dear to me. His father looked at him red-eyed in his familiar trance way. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender and giving him her finger to hold, said, Look, child, what is before you? Now see, my dear children, you can see the two different picture. One is father and another is mother. How is the father painted here? The father is just like a tyrant. आप जानते हैं ना tyrant क्या है? T-Y-R-A-N-T. Tyrant means cruel ruler. Cruel or harsh ruler. H-A-R-S. Harsh or cruel ruler. जो रूलर लोग जो बोलते हैं वही रूल होता है, उसको tyrannical ruler बोला जाता है. Therefore, the father is just like a tyrant. He did not have any kindness or softness of the heart. But the mother was melted. Mother was melted. कैसे melted हुआ? वो जो sugar होता है, चीनी जो होता है, जब पानी में आप डालते हैं, so in the similar manner, the mother also was melted because the mother could see the free spirit of the child. Mother could see the emotion of the child, and therefore she was melted and then begin to persuade. उसको समझाने लगा. Okay, persuade आप जानते हैं ना, P-R-S-U, persuade. So from class 9 onwards, you will have to learn all the terms of English. Then only your English will be developed. English for English, and inside you will be learning the mother tongue. So that will be in the background now. Therefore, so मम्मी ने उनको मतलब समझाने के मतलब कोशिश किया, बेटा समझ जाओ, ओके, वो हम खरीद नहीं सकते. Therefore, look forward. In order to divert the attention, the mother was telling that look forward. What is before you? Let us see, my dear children. It was a flowering master-filled, pale like the melting gold as it swept across the miles and miles of even land. ये जो हम, the particular place that we are talking about, ये जो land था, ये land, एक तो होता है highland होता है. Highland का मतलब क्या है? Hill area. Highland का मतलब है hill area. और दूसरा होता है plain, है ना? Plain और valley. So the particular place we are talking about is a plain area. And this setting here, the place where this particular story actually starts is Punjab. Normally this place is quite a plain, and therefore you could see when they are crossing to the field, they could see on the way, they could also see the master field. मास्टर फील्ड का जो कलर होता है वो कैसा होता है? दिस इज येलो गोल्ड कलर, just like the gold color. Therefore, in front of it, another attraction was there. The attraction was the master field that was spreading, or that was stretching miles and miles away. Means all the farmers planted the master seed in the field. Then in the master seed, when there will be flower, the flower will be accompanied by what? The flower will be accompanied by the bees, the flies. Therefore, you can see now beautiful picture of the flies, beautiful picture of the bees and also insects. Then now let us continue. A group of dragonflies were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings, intersecting the flight of a lone black bee. Black bee. Or butterfly. Butterfly in search of sweetness from the flower. Sweetness from the flower. So this flower having the sweetness, what is that sweetness? This sweetness is called the nectar. You know? Sweetness is called the nectar. Therefore, you can see the dragonfly. Have you seen the dragonfly? Beautiful, beautiful. It is also a kind of fly. Okay. Butterfly is there. Dragonfly is a different in color and shape and pattern. There is the group of dragonflies. They were bustling about. Okay, they were simply moving about in their showy. Gaudy means showy. In their showy purple wings, and many times they collided with the lone bee or the butterfly. Butterfly were in search of the sweetness of the flowers. Now, what did the child do? The child followed them into the air with his gaze, till one of them would still its a wing and rest, and he would try to catch it. Now, my dear children, this particular scenario takes me to my childhood when I was trying to catch those butterflies. So, such is the case here. The child followed them into the air with his gaze. Means he was constantly looking at the butterfly because he wanted to catch it, and his aim was very much so fixed. So when he was searching or pursuing, when he was going after it, then sometime the butterfly tried to take a rest, and he would try to catch it. But after hearing the movement of the man, it went fluttering with making some sound, and then flapping the wings, and it went to the air. When he almost caught it in his hands, then his mother gave a cautionary call. Come, child, come onto the footpath. Then cautionary means caution, coming from caution. My dear children, now this important to know the word formation. So हम जो आपको बोलेंगे, ये सारे चीज आपको ग्रामर लेसन में जाके ये भी एक बार रेफरेंस देख लेना चाहिए. So how this word is formed? From the adjective to noun. From the noun to adjective means from the verb to adverb. Okay. So how these words are formed? So caution means it is the noun form. Caution means alert. Cautionary meaning with alert. Okay. An alarm call was given by the mother. Mother was very much concerned, and therefore mother gave the cautionary or alarm call to the child that अगर आप हमारा साथ नहीं आएंगे तो आप हो जाएंगे. दीजिए alarm call. Therefore the same term is repeated here. Come, child, come onto the footpath. Another thing I want to tell you now, my dear children, you are in class 9. Another thing that is very important is that you are to learn how to speed up your reading. Reading speed, when it will be accelerated, when it will be more, then your understanding will be better, and you can understand many things with short span of time. Then let us proceed. He ran towards his parents daily and walked abreast of them for a while, being, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms. Along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. My dear children, now again we will see here some of the other elements of nature. That they are insects and worms. The children are very much lover. They love these insects and worms very much. What do they normally do? They normally hide themselves behind the trees or the bushes, and when there will be sunshine, they come out of their hiding place in order to enjoy the sunshine. In order to enjoy the sunshine, they come come out of their hiding places. So now again the parents give the call to the child. Come, child, come. His parent called from the shade of a grove where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well. On the edge of a well. He ran towards them. So well means a source of water. Source of water particularly found in the villages. Therefore, just by the site, edge means site, the side of the well, there was what was there? There was the grove. Grove means a shady forest. Shady forest where the plants will be small in size. उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? Bush बोलते हैं. B-U-S-H, bush. Therefore, the parents once again, when they were sitting just beside the well under the grove. When they got a little tired, when they were resting at a time, also they saw that the child is now attracted by the insect and the worm, and then they gave the cautionary call to the child to come to them. Then let us see the next part. Let us see now. A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hands. But lo, he heard the queen doves, and ran towards his parents, shouting, "The dove, the dove!" The raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. So in this part also you will see, just like the beginning part or the beginning paragraph of this lesson, that the child was extremely happy while he was going to the village fair. He was in the midst of nature. He could see many of the elements of the nature, and then he was extremely happy. So when he was running or entering the grove at the time, what happened? As the grove, as I told you, it's a shady kind of enclosure, or a shady place where small plants are there, and the plant will be bearing the flower, and this flower actually fell on the child. So he was very happy to gather this raining petal. Raining petal means falling petals of the flower. Raining means falling in large number. But what happened? After that, there was another attraction. The attraction this time was the dove. So this pronunciation is dove, P-O-V-E, dove. Do not tell it dove. Okay. So dove is the symbol of peace, है ना? ये ऐसा एक बर्ड है जो पीस को सिंबलाइज करते हैं. Therefore, when he was searching for, when he was running after the dove, then the raining petal or the falling petal dropped from his forgotten hands. Come, child, come. They called to the child who had now gone running into the wild capers under the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they took the narrow winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard field. Now at this particular moment, we could see that they are going just near the fair. So at that time also the parents give the call to the child, and now they gone running into the wild caper around the banyan tree and gathering him up. Okay, so at that time he went around the banyan tree. Banyan tree, आप जानते हैं ना? Banyan tree. Okay, this banyan tree. Okay, which will have a lot of shady place. Banyan tree. normally where the temples, small temples and shrines are meet under the banyan tree. And what the parents did? The parents gathered him up and they took the narrow winding footpath. Narrow winding footpath. So first they picked up, gathered means pick up the child who was attracted by the keepers, and after gathering the child they took a very narrow road, means it is a narrow road, it's called route, R-O-U-T, route, which was windy also, means which was very zigzag. Windy means zigzag, zigzag. That will be taking them or leading them to the fear. This particular road, the windy road that goes to the master field will be taking them to the fear. Now let us see what happens now. Let us see. As they neared to the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs, converging to the whirlpool of the fear, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. Now here you see converging means what? Meeting. Throng means the crowd, CROWD, crowd. आप ये सारे मीनिंग लिख लेंगे, so you'll be writing all the meaning of this word. Repels means distracted, DISTRACTED. Distracted means not attracted. So what is the reason? Let us see. So now they almost near to the village. At the time, what is seen is that the child could see many footprints. There are many footprints, and there are a crowd of people. Lot many people were there, and these people actually come from different direction. And this is the meeting place. And after seeing this huge crowd of the people, first he got repelled. He was not willing to go. Again, what happened? He was attracted or fascinated, because he wanted to see by himself what is there inside of the fear. He wanted to invent, he wanted to discover. It was a kind of adventure for him. Therefore he was again attracted towards the crowd, and then he went there. And on the way you will see now, so on the footpath there will be many more attractions. And altogether, my dear children, there are almost 10 attractions. So in the questions, in the examination, you will be asked the question, what were the things that the child noticed on the way to the fair? Then you will have to mention all this. And one of them is the sweetmeat seller. So now we see the sweetmeat seller. Gulab Jamun, Rasgulla, Barfi, Jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed around his counter at the foot of an architecture of a many-colored suite decorated with the leaves of silver and gold. The child stared, often eyed, and his mouth watered for the barfi that was his favorite sweet. I wanted that barfi, he slowly murmured, but he half knew as he begged that his plea would not be heeded because his parents would say he was greedy. So without waiting for any answer, he moved on. Now from this paragraph we can understand that the child is very much understanding child, even though he had a lot of emotion, feeling. He wanted to have a lot of things as a child, but he knew the parent, he knew the knew what kind of parent they were, therefore he compromised every moment. So what is the kind of the sweet that the child actually liked? He liked the burfi. There may be MCQ question. What a sweet that the small child liked. Then lot many things may be given: gulab jamun, rasgulla, burfi, jalebi. Then you will have to give the tick mark on burfi. That was his favorite sweet. And he slowly murmured. Okay, murmur means telling, okay, in a very low sound he was telling. He was not telling very loudly, as he begged that his plea would not be headed. Means headed means listen to, means giving attention to. His plea means request. His earnest request, or the folded request will not be listened to or headed by the parents, and therefore just by understanding that, without waiting for the answer from the parents, he moved on. Then let us continue. A flower seller hawked a garland of the gulmohar, a garland of gulmohar. So now we see a garland of gulmohar. The child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went toward the basket where the flower lay heaped and half murmured, I wanted a garland, but he well knew his parent would refuse to buy him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. You see, this line is repeated. This is the act of the child. This is the act of the child. So now another attraction for the child was the garland. So garland का मतलब क्या होता है? Garland is the necklace. NACKLACE, necklace. Made of what? Made of flowers. Garland is the necklace that is made of the flower, and this flower is gulmohar. Gulmohar is the particular flower by which this garland or the necklace is made, and irresistibly drawn. Drawn means he was pulled. Pulled. Pulled means attracted. Irresistibly, coming from RESIST, resist. If R is added, then resist. After that table, another ABL is added. That will be the form of the word coming from the resist. Irresistible. Resist means control, and from there irresistible means not in a position to control. Means now this time the attraction was so much that he could hardly control himself. He went toward the basket. He went toward the basket and almost he half murmured, almost 50% murmured. But he knew that the answer of the parent, the excuse of the parent. So what will be the excuse? That these things are very cheap. Cheap का मतलब क्या है? सस्ता. Opposite क्या होगा? Dear, है ना? Costly, dear or costly. COSTLY, costly. ये चीज बहुत सस्ता है, therefore इसको नहीं लेना है. So that was the kind of the excuse that the parent will give, and that was known to the child, and therefore without waiting for any answer, he simply moved on. Then let us see what follows. A man stood holding a pole with a yellow, red, green, purple balloon flying from it. The child was simply carried away by the rainbow glory of their silken colors, and he was filled with an overwhelming desire to possess them all. Now let us see after this. Overwhelming and irresistible, almost same, means the particular emotion that cannot be controlled, uncontrolled. Okay, uncontrolled. Uncontrolled. If the emotion or the desire is uncontrolled, that is called overwhelming. So what is the overwhelming desire? The overwhelming desire was to possess them all. Matlab, so he saw the balloon, and once you see the balloon, my goodness, balloon is a balloon, and all the color of the rainbow, picture. Okay, all the color, and therefore it was the heart's desire of the child, and therefore he wanted to have it. The child was simply carried away, simply pulled away, only pulled, attracted by these silken colors, and then he wanted to have it, but he well knew. अब ये देखिए, so the child was very understanding child. The child knew very well. He was a very smart boy, and he knew the parents. What he knew about the parents? He knew that the parents would never buy them the balloon. क्या reason देंगे? Because they would to see he was too old to play with such toys. So he walked further. So parents लोग क्या बोलेंगे? Parents लोग बोलेंगे कि he was too old to play with such toy. Too old to play. आप देखिए, to. This is the conjunction. This is the compound conjunction. So here you see, I tell you, he is too old to walk. इसका simple meaning होगा, he is so old that he cannot walk. He is so old that he cannot walk. Similarly, here also the parent will tell that you are too old to possess or play with these toys. You are too old to play with such toys, means you are so old that you cannot play, you are unfit to play with these toys. That was the feeling, that was the answer of the parents, and he knew it very well, and therefore he wanted to walk further, he wanted to go further. Then another attraction was there. Another attraction you will see in the form of the snake charmer. Snake charmer. So this time you see a snake charmer stood playing a flute. To a snake which coiled itself in a basket. Its head raised in a graceful band like the neck of a swan, while the music stole into his invisible ears like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall. Rippling of the waterfall. Let us see after this. After that, one particular snake charmer. A person whose profession is to play with the snake, catch the snake, and live their life, make their livelihood. That is called snake charmer. So what does the snake charmer actually do? They carry the basket made particularly of the bamboo or the cane, and there you will see variety of the snakes, variety of the reptiles or the snakes. And what was the scene there? From one particular basket, a particular snake raised the head in a very graceful, in a very beautiful manner, and it was just like the head of the swan. When the music of the flute was played, bansuri, flute means bansuri. When it was this flute was played, then his heart was stolen. The heart of the snake was stolen, and it was lost, just like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall, just in the manner of the wave or the ripple of the water in the waterfall get dim and dimmer demand in the similar manner also. His music, the music that is supposed to that is played was stole into the invisible ear of the snake. Then what the parents will tell? The parents will tell, बेटा ये गाना नहीं सुनना, this ये जो गाना है ये गाना अच्छा नहीं है. The parents will be telling that these are coarse music. Coarse, C-O-U-R. कोर्स का मतलब है R-O-U-G-H, रफ. कोर्स का मतलब है अनप्लीजेंट. अनप्लीजेंट. कोर्स का मतलब क्या होगा? श्रिल, S-H-R-I-L-L. So the parent will tell that this particular sound is very coarse, and you need not listen to it. And just by knowing that he was forbidden, he was asked not to listen to that music. He proceeded further. He moved further. There is a roundabout in full swing, full movement. Men and women, children carried away in a whirling motion, shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. The child watched them intently, and then made a bold request. I wanted to go on the roundabout. Please, father, mother. So as you have observed, the child was simply observing all this thing, and hardly he uttered, hardly he demanded. Now this time, his desire was so intense or great that he could not control, and therefore after seeing the roundabout was in operation. There was electricity, and the roundabout was a kind of a ring where there will be seating arrangement in the form, many times in the form of the chair, many times in the form of the horse or other, where people of a various age group will sit there, and they will be very happy. When it will be coming to the peak point, then they will be dizzy. They will be almost crazy with their happiness. The child was observing it very intently or closely. After observing, this time he could not be silent. He could not control his desire, and then he boldly, in a very bold manner, he requested the parent, father, mother, I wanted to go to the roundabout. Please, father, please, mother. Then let us see the next part. Here we move to the next part. As usual, we will see what will be the answer. The answer is known to the child. There is no reply, means the father and mother told nothing. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there ahead of him. He turned to look on either side. They were not there. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. Now see, accident happened. Some mishap. अब जानते हैं ना, mishap shortcut में accident. So there is an accident. What is the accident? Accident was that the child got lost. Lost. So now from here we can show the appropriateness of the title. कि title जो है हमारा title, the lost child, is very appropriate because the child was lost when he was trying to go to the roundabout. He wanted to go there. He searched for the parents. He could not find out the parent either in the front or back, either into the left or right. He looked all sides, but he could not trace out or find out the parents, and therefore the parents got missing. The child got lost. Then what will be the reaction? The child will be utterly disappointed. He will be very unhappy. He will be crying, and then he will be sobbing, and then he will finally be rescued by a very kind-hearted person. He will be offered with all the attraction that that he was attracted by into the beginning, but he will say no, no, no. He will never look at, he will turn his eyes, and then he will be only uttering the same word, I want my father, I want my mother. Let us continue. A full deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear. Mother, father, tears rolled down from his eyes. What 10 tears? His flushed face was convulsed with a fear, panic stricken. He ran to one side first, then to another, hither and thither, in all directions, knowing not where to go. Mother, father, he wailed. His yellow turban untied, and his clothes become muddy. Now see, this is the kind of the tragedy. आप जानते हैं ना tragedy? Tragedy means the story of sadness. So his sadness started now when he lost the parent. Therefore, what he did, he was running from this side to that side, from hither to thither, to all direction, and in this manner, what happened? His clothes become very muddy or dirty, and his turban that is worn onto the head. Particularly by those people in Punjab and Haryana. So this also got untied. So this is the tragedy of the child stars. Having run to and fro in a rage of running for a while, he stood defeated, his cries suppressed into right? To sob. A little distance onto the green grass, he could see through his filmy eyes men and women talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of the bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his parent, father and mother among these people, who seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. Here you will see a contrasting picture, opposing picture. In one side you can see the child was very unhappy. In another side you will see there is happy people. They were talking, they were laughing, they were eating, and they were simply laughing for the sake of laughing. They were laughing. So from here also we could see that through the filmy eyes, his eyes were filmy because he was crying. The eye drops fell, and he could not see very clearly. Eyes were filmy, and through this filmy eye, he could search very intently or closely, but he could not trace out the parents. He could only see the happy race of people who are laughing and talking simply for the sake of laughing or talking. Then let us proceed. Then what the child does? Let us see. He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. Every little inch of the space here was congested with a man, but he ran through people's leg. His little sob lingering. Mother, father, near the entrance to the temple. However, the crowd became very thick. Men jostle each other, heavy men, flashing murderous eyes and hefty shoulders. The poor child struggled to thrust a way between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movement. He might have been trampled under feet had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice. Father, mother, a man in the surging crowd heard his cry, and stooping with a great difficulty lifted him in his arms. Here you see some change in the plot of the story. So here, in search of the parent, he went to the shrine. Shrine is a religious place where There will be gathering of the people here. You will see there is a host of people, a group of people. What the people were doing? The people were compared to the child. They were very much hefty, means heavy shoulders, means heavily built. Okay, heavily built. And many times when somebody was coming, they were looking at with a very murderous eyes, means angry eyes. And when he was moving, they were at the mercy of the people. And many times he was trampled. Okay, many a time he was because of the brutal movement, of the people, he was at the mercy of the people, and many times he was crushed. Crashed. He was almost crushed under feet. But what happened? He shrieked to the top of his voice, and a person took a pity. He bent down. He bent down, and with difficulty lifted the child onto his arms or laps. How did you get there, child? Whose baby are you? The man asked as he steered clear of the mass, that the child wept more bitterly than ever now, and now child cried, I want my mother, I want my father. So as you have seen, now he is simply repeating when the child was rescued by another person, very kindly person. So he simply repeated his same term, I want my father, I want my mother. The man tried to soothe him by taking by taking him to the roundabout. Will you have a ride onto the horse? He gently asked as he approached the ring, that the child's throat tore into 1,000 shrill sobs, and he shouted, I want my mother, I want my father. So here you see, so in order to console, console, console or pacify. In order to console or pacify the child, the man did everything. He left no stone unturned. He did everything in order to pacify or console the child. उसको आश्वासन देने के लिए ये जो दयालु आदमी थे, ये हर कुछ किए थे. So he was taken to the roundabout and asked whether he wanted to have a ride there. But the child simply refused it. He wanted only his father and mother. Then let us see. Now, so he'll be going to the kind person will be taking the child to all the attraction that he was earlier pulled, but he will say no to all of them, because he wanted only his father and mother. Let us see this part. The man headed towards the place where the snake charmer still played on the flute to the swaying cobra. Listen to that nice music, child. He played it, but the child shut his eyes. The child shut his ears with his fingers and shouted to double strain, I want my mother, I want my father. The man took him near to the balloons, thinking the bright color of the balloons would distract the child's attention and quieten him. Would you like a rainbow colored balloon? He persuasively asked. The child turned his eyes up from the flying balloons and just so, I want my mother, I want my father. So here also you will see that the man tried his level best in order to quieten him, in order to make him quiet, in order to pacify, in order to console him, उसको शांत करने के लिए, उसको happy करने के लिए. So he offered him the rainbow color balloons. He offered him what? Offered him the music played by the played by the snake charmer in the flute. But he simply demanded the same thing. He demanded the return of the mother and the father. The man still tried to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower seller said, "Look, can you smell those nice flowers, child? Would you like a garland to put around your neck?" So now this time the child was taken. Boar is coming from bear. The child was now taken to the gate. In front of the gate, what you could see? You could see the garland seller. The garland seller, and he was offered that he can wear the garland of Gulmohar, and he can be happy by doing that. But the child was very much adamant. The child was unconsolable. He could not be pacified. He simply repeated he wanted his mother, he wanted his father. Let us see the next. The child turned his nose away from the basket and reiterated his sob, "I want my mother, I want my father." So he reiterated, the child, what happened? He turned his nose away from the basket and he repeated. What he did? He repeated reiterated means repeated. He repeated his sob. Sob means crying or weeping. Crying or weeping. W-E-E-P. So what was the weep? "I want my mother, I want my father." Thinking to humor his disconsolate church by a gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. "What a sweet would you like, child?" he asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only said, "I want my mother, I want my father." Disconsolate means the person who cannot be made happy, means discontent. This content. Content means happy. Discontent means unhappy. The person who cannot be made happy. Now, in order to make him happy, what the man did? He took him to the sweet seller and he offered him the sweet. And what sort of sweet he wanted to have was asked by the man. But he turned away his face from the sweet shop and he was simply repeating his own weep. He wanted his mother and he wanted his father. So this is the end of the lesson, my dear children. So you will see that the textual questions are there. Think about it. So this you will be doing all these textual questions. So we have already discussed what are the things of the attraction the child could see on the way to the fair. Why does he lag behind? So these questions you will be doing by yourself. Let us see now. Only one or two questions I will see now. Only one or two questions. Let us see. The MCQ questions we will see towards the end. Okay. Here you see the MCQ questions. So this is the new pattern, my dear children. So in the new pattern, as in the PISA, this MCQ questions will be very much common. Therefore, you will have to prepare for it, and for that a detailed study is very much needed. So you will be studying it, and this is the basis. You can download it. I will be giving you the PDF file too. Therefore, you can download and study by yourself. So the first question you will see, very simple one. Name the things that the child saw on its way to the fair. A. Toys. B. Sweets and garlands. C. Balloons. D. All. That means the answer is green in color. So this answer is correct. This answer is correct. Number 2. Why did the child lag behind his parents? You remember the description. So we see that the child was very much attracted by this thing or that thing, and therefore he was lagging behind or staying behind. Therefore, you can see that the answer because of the stops he took to look closely at his favorite things, because he was walking slow, because he was crying, all. So you will see that all this answer not correct. A is correct because he stops at the thing in front of those things which were the favorite for the child. So now we'll be seeing the last question. Let us come to the last question. 20 numbers are there. 20 numbers are there. We'll see the last question, question number 20. The answer key is also given here. You can simply see, refer and consult. Why did the child say no to all the things he was earlier crying for? This is the last part of the text, and from here you will see that the man was very much concerned with the child. He wanted to persuade the child, he wanted to make him happy just by offering this thing or that thing that he was attracted by before he was lost. You see the answer. He lost his interest was changed because being with the parents was more important. D, no. So the answer will be, for the child what was important was the father. Father was very much important for the child, and therefore he did not pay any attention to any other thing, only he was very much concerned about the parents. With this, let us conclude. We'll meet you in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Have a good day.